New York City, 1923. The streets were alive with the sounds of clanking streetcars, the chatter of businessmen, and the eager voices of young boys shouting, "Extra! Extra! Read all about it!" Among them was Tommy Sullivan, a 12-year-old newsboy with tattered shoes, a worn-out cap, and a hunger, not just for food but for success. Every morning, Tommy stood at the corner of 5th Avenue and 42nd Street, waving newspapers in the air, hoping to sell enough to bring home a few coins. Life was tough, but Tommy never complained. He knew that every cent he earned meant another meal for his family. One morning, as Tommy was setting up, a wealthy businessman named Mr. Whitmore, dressed in a fine suit with polished shoes, stopped in front of him. He pulled out a shiny dime and a crisp dollar bill and said, "Tell me, son, which is more valuable, this dime or this dollar?" The other newsboys smirked, expecting Tommy to grab the dollar, but to their surprise, Tommy reached for the dime. The businessman chuckled. "Interesting choice, kid. See you tomorrow." And so, every morning, Mr. Whitmore returned, repeating the same question. And every morning, Tommy picked the dime. The other boys laughed at him, calling him foolish. "Tommy, don't you know a dollar is worth more than a dime?" one boy sneered. Tommy just smiled. "Maybe, but I've got a plan." What they didn't know was this. Every dime Tommy collected was carefully saved. He never spent them on candy or toys like the other boys. Instead, he reinvested his earnings, buying more newspapers to sell. Soon, Tommy wasn't just selling papers. He was hiring younger boys to sell for him. A year passed, then 2. While the other boys remained in the same spot, selling the same papers, Tommy was expanding. He had 3, then 5, then 10 boys working under him. His little operation grew, and he became known as Boss Tommy among the street vendors. One day, Mr. Whitmore approached Tommy again. But this time, instead of offering a dime or a dollar, he smiled and asked, "Tell me, kid, what have you done with all those dimes?" Tommy grinned and pulled out a small notebook filled with numbers and business plans. "Sir, I used every dime to grow my business. Now, I don't just sell newspapers, I distribute them, and soon I'll print my own." Mr. Whitmore was stunned. "So that's why you never took the dollar? You were thinking long term?" Tommy nodded. "If I had taken the dollar, the game would have ended. But by taking the dime, I kept it going. I knew you'd come back every day, and those dimes built my empire." Years later, Tommy founded his own newspaper, one that would compete with the biggest publishers in New York. And Mr. Whitmore? He became one of Tommy's biggest investors. The same people who once laughed at Tommy now admired his genius. He had taught them a valuable lesson. Success isn't about taking the biggest prize, it's about playing the smartest game. If you want more stories like this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments what kind of story you'd love to hear next.